I'm a big fan of Uzbek traditional food.
Oh,
Plov, shazlik, mastava, shorva. I think you know, less KFC and more plov, I think is the way to go.
yes, you spoke about the Uzbekistan's food. The final of our interview, we want to you speak about the impression about Uzbekistan.
Oh,
actually, how long have you been in Uzbekistan?
Oh, that's such a great. I'm so happy you asked that question. I came actually for the first time 2 years ago, just before Navruz, as an adjunct professor, and I fell in love with the city straight away. You know, I've lived in the US, Australia. I've been a visiting professor in Mexico, in China. I ran a university in Africa. I've had lots of exposure. I'm originally a medieval and Renaissance European historian. Tashkent was such a surprise. It's a big, modern, cosmopolitan, sophisticated city. Great restaurants, great cafes, interesting cultural events, and just, I think, physically a very beautiful city. So I fell in love with, and the food. The food was amazing. So I then made the decision when I was offered this job. So, you know, would I stay in Australia? I thought, no, I really want to live here. So I wake up every morning and I usually walk into work. I live in C1, so I walk down Alashanavoy, come through that area, and I have to pinch myself. I feel so lucky to have ended up here. And the other thing is, there's a sort of warmth and engagement around the Uzbeks I've met. The students are fantastic. They're so keen and entrepreneurial. There's a huge entrepreneurial energy. This is a country on the move. It's doing interesting things. It's thinking through difficult problems creatively, and that's why I'm happy to be here, and happy to be here as the director of Webster at the moment, because we get to play a role in that, and it's very satisfying.
Thank you so much. There are many words for the explaining your situation, your expression. I think so.
I'm enjoying it a great deal. I've started to learn Uzbek. I've started to learn Russian, but
really,
bolda.
Bolda. Okay, perfect. Okay, actually, you know, in Uzbekistan, we are celebrating the Navruz,
I know,
traditional
Sumalak
event, Sumalak.
I know. I've stirred the Sumalak.
Really?
Yeah, I did it last year. When I first came to Tashkent, it was about this time of the year, and it was 2 years ago, and it was snowing. So I thought, okay. And then it was Navruz, and the weather suddenly transformed. It was spring, and I had Sumalak for the first time. I went through Navruz Bogi, the park, and there were families, there was dancing, and I thought, oh my God, this place is magical. And I think having been through Navruz a couple of times, it as a foreigner, and particularly as an Australian, so I grew up in a country where spring is a much more subtle thing, but when spring arrives here, you know it's spring, and I love the way it's celebrated. So for me, it's been a magical experience. I look forward to it every year.
Oh, great. Perfect, not great, perfect.
I'm very pleased.
Actually, is your family enjoying?
I'm here by myself. I have a daughter, and she will visit me over the summer here. But when I go back to Australia, and I go back from time to time, I tell anyone who should listen, they should come to Uzbekistan. And in fact, I've had 2 groups of friends come through. They have spent time in Tashkent, Bukhara, Samarkand, and they love it. And now they're telling their friends. My sister is coming in October. So, you know, we're stimulating the Uzbek economy as best we can from Australia.
Wow. Great.
So, you know, for me, particularly going through Samarkand and Bukhara, it reminds me that this country was at the center of global civilization for 3 or 4 centuries. And you go past, and people should know that and remember it. So when you go through Samarkand, Bukhara, Hiva, you realize, you know, the nature of the history and its impact and its importance. So professionally for me, I love that. But it's just a great place to visit.
you.